Hello, everybody. It's me, Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, we're in the same room.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's episode 121 of the Commander's Brew podcast. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Andy. We're in the same room. How long has it been since we did one in the same room?
It's been since I went to LA.
Like number 70?
So last year. No, earlier this, like the beginning of this year. So almost a year.
I'm curious to see how our chemistry changes for this episode. Directly joking with each other in the same room.
Directly joking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While staring forward still.
Yeah, head on joking. Although there's a lot less of me now looking at the camera. Like this is the camera, but less of me looking over there to see your Skype image.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because you end up just naturally doing that when you're talking to someone.
Yeah.
Anyways, here we are, episode 121. We didn't even say what it is.
No, we didn't. What we're doing is, the title of this episode is, With a Little Help from Our Friends. Friends in quotation marks. We mean opponents. It's... Before we go too deep on what that means, we want to thank all of our sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Gotta thank them all.
Hey, all Patreon people, thank you so much. We got a lot of great suggestions this week. We put the deck list up last week for our patrons to browse around with. Thank you for that. We want to thank the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com. Hi, I'm in Exelon, and I have a huge cold right now. I legit have a huge cold right now. Listen to how stuffed up my nose is. Anyway, things don't look too good for me here on Exelon. Having a cold here is pretty bad. You know, scurvy is a thing. Till we figured out limes. You know, you can get like water on the lung if you're too much merfolk stuff, or just straight vampire disease, which is when you get bitten and turn into a vampire. I don't know of any illnesses that turn you into a dinosaur, but since we don't have antibiotics, my time is pretty short. I want to play as much Magic as possible. That means ordering singles from the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com. I'm going to use coupon code BREWVEMBER for the month of November to get an extra 5% off. And if I order singles $50 or more, they'll ship it for free anywhere into Canada or the United States. That's a good deal. And I'm going to get 3% kickback on my next order. I mean, I'll probably be dead before my next order, but I'll pass my account on to someone else so they can do it. It was nice knowing everybody. Remember to get some rest and drink your juice. Have your vitamins. Don't be like me. You know, wash your hands. Wash your hands after you... Just a lot. Wash your hands a lot. That's just the best advice that I never took. Don't be like me. We want to thank Ultimate Guard, sleeves and boxes. And other things too. But mostly sleeves and boxes from my perspective.
Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff. They got
Do they have dice?
I don't know if they have dice, but they definitely have playmats.
Oh, they have playmats.
And we have a bunch of playmats that we can give away.
Ultimate Guard playmats.
And we did do a little contest for what our sign-off would be for the next block of shooting.
Oh, yeah.
And our next block of shooting interviews is coming up soon. So I'm going to say we're going to have to go ahead and choose that probably next week.
You're going to have to go ahead and choose.
So check it out. If you want to submit a sign-off for the Brews News segments at the end of the show, you can win some cool Ultimate Guard stuff. And I think we said before, we're going to pick like at least 2 or 3. Like we'll pick some runners up as well and give some stuff away. So get it in. It's hashtag Brews News. Get a sign off in there. See what, sign offs, popular sign off, good night and good luck.
Right.
That was one.
Rip it and skip it.
Rip it, skip it, dip it.
No. That's partly why we're doing give a couple prizes, because one of them we're going to use.
Yeah.
But if there's such a good one that we just can't use, we got to reward that one too.
Yeah. We've had a lot of people actually just suggest that we just use good night and good luck. And it's like, but that was real. That was someone else's.
Want a funnier one.
Yeah.
Or one that is more us.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to like rhyme or anything.
It doesn't need to.
It can just be like anything, really. Just a neat little sign-off way to end the segment.
Flip it and trip it.
Yeah, but that one doesn't make sense at all. So we can't pick that one.
Flip your top card all the time.
Yeah, you do flip your top card. Do you trip it?
I mean,
Jack Tripper.
Yeah,
Three's
or maybe
company.
like I'm tripping out on magic right
Tripping
now.
out on magic, man. I'm a magic man. Anyways, so yeah, get that in. The way to submit that is via Twitter. Yeah, #Brews News. Let's do it. So next week we'll let everybody know which one we're gonna pick.
Fun.
And we'll send out some cool Ultimate Guard sleeves, deck boxes, playmats.
Yeah.
Because we have a bunch of it. Cool. What's been happening with you?
Well,
have you been playing some Magic? What's been going on?
Yeah, I've just started like looking at Iconic Masters. That's coming out soon.
Yes.
And I was thinking it was like a happy thought, but also kind of a sad thought. It's like, why can't they make, like, is it possible for them to make a draft only set of cards that isn't expensive? Right? Because the whole reason this one looks so cool to draft, and they have a bunch of fun draft stuff, but they have a bunch of expensive reprints, so they have to charge money for it, or I guess they don't have to, but they've decided they're going to. But like, because cubes are great too, but I find like the power cube is always like too much. It's overwhelming. It's like, what are you doing? But I would love it if they just reprinted a nice tight package, because then you can get multiples. You can't get multiples in a cube.
Right.
I want it so where I can get multiple commons, maybe a couple uncommons, sick rare, and it's really cool stuff, but not like 3-card combo type of stuff.
That's a very specific request.
Well, it would just mean like doing something like an Iconic Masters, but not doing the bonkers reprints.
Doing like limited masters.
Yeah.
A limited master
Constructed
set.
Masters?
Well, it's all kind of, well,
That wouldn't work.
I mean, it kind of all is that, isn't it? Like iconic, modern, that's all constructed, right?
Yeah, but what if you kept it to the current standard format? Maybe that'd be too hard to design
Perhaps.
because they don't all go together.
But like a limited masters where it's just like draft all-stars from Magic's history, and the packs are cheaper because there aren't that many like, crazy reprints. Or maybe if there are and it makes sense, just charge a regular price, like a regular pack, like the current set.
slightly bumped prices.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would depend on what these limited masters were, perhaps, but because if you made your ideal draft set just based on limited, and then you looked at it and you're like, well, there's not a lot of value here when it comes to like mythics and rares and things like that. So let's charge less for these packs, or let's charge like the regular amount.
I mean, it is a tall order. I don't think it's going to happen.
Never.
I was just looking at Iconic Masters and being like, man, this is probably really fun to draft, and I'm not going to get to do that too much.
Yeah, the one set that was like that I wished I had drafted was Modern Masters 1.
Yeah.
Because everyone says that one was great. And I didn't really get into that one.
And plus, that one had the best growth of value.
Yeah.
Like that, the cards in there just they knocked that one out of the park. I guess looking back, it's obvious when it's your first foray into this kind of thing. Of course, you're going to wow everybody. You're going to have the best reprints in that set. They're never all going to match up to that one.
Yeah, so we can only dream. What about Commander Masters? Is that ever going to happen? That would be great.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of simple reprints that we need.
I mean, we get a Commander set every year, so we get our Commander Masters.
That's true. We get stuff.
We get a Commander Masters every year.
Yeah.
We can't complain.
I mean,
we can complain.
You're probably right. We're not justified.
I'm not willing to complain.
Yes.
So yeah. Anyways, here we go.
You've been playing anything?
What have I been playing? No, you know what? I have been. Aside from our stream, I haven't really played anything. What did we do? Did we draft on the stream last time? We did. We played a little bit of standard, and then we drafted. And I remember we had a neat deck. It was fun. But what are you gonna do, right? The new set, people are either not really into it, or
Exelon, you mean?
Yeah, Exelon, yeah. We're waiting for the next one to come out. Although now a lot of unset spoilers are coming out. Oh, you know what? I played Magic Arena again.
Oh,
they had another little thing where it was like you could open packs and you could build a deck and all this. Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. Again, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but like it was neat. Yeah, it seemed good. I think there's still some like you guys have all seen what it looks like. Like I'm now really getting to the point where I'm like, this is a little too much like Hearthstone. Like this doesn't look. It looks like Hearthstone, like exactly like it. And to me it's not unique enough. It doesn't look like its own program.
It doesn't have its own voice.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. The movements even, it's all like the boom, the hitting, like that's pure Hearthstone.
Yeah,
it's
even
a straight rip of Hearthstone at this point. And it's Magic, so it's better. Don't get me wrong.
It's Magic. It's a better game for sure.
Magic, so it's obviously a better game. But yeah, a lot of it is like I'm a little like, oh, like I think that from a design aspect, they could have made this very much their own thing. Like, what's wrong with the way Magic Duels looked, or at least that skeleton of a look? You know what I mean? I thought that always looked kind of cool. Anyways, whatever, no big deal though. So yeah, that's coming up. Magic Duels is coming up. The beta, I think they said the beta is going to be sometime in, I think it's like November 20 something. Like it's late in November.
Oh, yeah. First time I was like 2017. November 20 something. 2018, 2019, I don't remember.
November 2040 or something. I don't know.
That's when the beta's out.
Yeah. No, so the beta's coming up soon, so there'll be even more people being able to play it then instead of just like alpha stress testing that they're doing.
Yeah.
So you know, we're all looking forward to that one. Well, what do you say we
crack into it?
Let's crack into it.
So, little help from our friends. The premise of this deck is stuff that happens when our friends, aka opponents, do things. So, ended up picking as our commander Kineos and Tiro of Miletus. Right. And just, I want to do a little side move here for a sec. Just talk about how, do you remember I have, in the past, Kineos and Tiro was a group thug deck that upgraded to O Kagashi and added black.
Yes.
Right? And so now I'm thinking to myself, well, I got this Kineos and Tiro I'm not doing anything with. Right. So I'm like, maybe this is the deck for it. So it's like all these commanders are just going down a rank.
Also, yeah, right. So you have this spare Kineos and Tiro.
Yeah. So this might be the move for them. Anyway, the theory is not to punish them. That's why black's not in here.
Right.
It would be very easy to put in black cards that say whenever our opponent... Whoa. Little focus issue there. That was fun. How bad can we make it?
We can make it pretty bad. Okay. Listeners don't know what we're talking about.
No idea.
Listeners don't know what's going on.
Was it right? So a lot of black cards are like, oh, whenever your opponents do this, they have to pay 3 life or discard a card, or they have to do this and it's bad for them. We don't ever want to disincentivize our opponents for doing things because it hurts them. We just want it so that whenever they do stuff, it also helps us.
Right.
And if they decide that means it's not worth playing their own things, well, that's up to them. That's
a dilemma you're sticking them with.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's not for it doesn't hurt them in any way to keep playing their board.
Right.
And every color except black has a strong representation where I really wanted some cards in there. So we went for color just because, and you'll see how that goes up.
All right.
Do you want to start us off here, Andy? We're going to start with cards that just when their opponents cast things.
What happens? You know, something happens when your opponents do these things. So Ishai, Ojutai Dragon Speaker, from the same commander set as Kineos and Tiro. 2 white-blue, legendary creature, Bird Monk. He's a 1/1 flyer, and he says whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on Ishai, Ojutai Dragon Speaker. This has partner, but don't worry about that.
It's not in the command zone, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah. But these are cards that have proven that, like cards like this, and we're going to talk about another one in a sec, have proven to be very good commander cards. Because of the multiplayer nature, they're going to get big very quickly, and then they just demand an answer. And, you know, Ishai is especially good because it has flying. So obviously these cards with evasion are even better. But, like, yeah, these they just grow out of control huge. and then they demand to be answered.
It's interesting to think about, what if you just resolve Ishai and that's it? Right? Before too long, they can attack you. You're pretty weak to that. But before too long, Ishai is like a 6/6, 7/7, 8/8. And then it's like, well, now we can't attack you anymore. Not only that, you're in danger of like really threatening people's life totals too. So like it almost gets to the point where they're like, we're going to have to wrath the board for this Ishai.
Right, yeah.
Just for that. Which is a pretty good position to be in. Next up, let's talk about Dragon Lair Spider. This was given to us as an idea by one of our patrons. I want to shout out Vinin126. Never said some of these screen names out loud before, so I hope that's remotely correct. But yeah, Dragon Lair Spider, right? 2. Red, green. Little bit tricky on the mana base, but it's a 5/6. Very good stats with reach. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Ishai's getting big. Dragon Lair Spider is getting wide.
Yeah, Dragon Lair Spider. I mean, it's not only just a solid body itself. A 5/6 reach is fine in Commander, no problems there. But it's creating either little chump blockers or gearing up for a big attack.
Yeah.
Torian Mauler is also in here. That's the 2 and a red for a 2/2 changeling. And whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a 1/1 counter on Torian Mauler.
Same as Ishai.
Yep, same as Ishai, and this is the one I was talking about, that like the Torian Mauler's been like a Commander, staple basically. It's not a super flashy card, but it is one that, like, if you've never run Torian Mauler, like, throw one in a deck and trust me.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it always gets way bigger than you would think, because when it's a 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, people get just like whatever. It's like a 6/6. Whatever, it's a 6/6, like basically vanilla creature. Like, who cares? I don't care about this. But then if your deck is built to take advantage of having big creatures in one way or another, this is a guy you want all the time, because it will always get big, always.
Yeah, and then when it does, you can imagine Andy's winking face like this.
Yeah, just that, by the way, to our audio listeners, is a wink and a classic gun.
Finger gun.
Yeah. What's next?
So that's when our opponents are just casting spells. We're getting stuff there.
That's just free value
all
the time.
But people attack in Commander too. So why don't we get things when people attack as well? Let's highlight Windreader Sphinx. 5 blue for a 3/7 flying Sphinx. It's expensive, but whenever a creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card. Whether you attack with a flyer, whether opponents attack with a flyer, whoever they attack, it doesn't matter. It has to be flyers. So it is possible that a lot of decks won't fuel this very much.
Yeah.
But, that's pretty decent rate. And if that means it stops people from attacking, well, that's fine.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And same goes for Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. 3 red for 5/4. And whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, create a 3/3 red ogre creature token unless that creature's controller pays 3. So this is I'd say even more so probably than like the big Sphinx there, Windreader Sphinx. This is just like people don't want to attack into you.
Yeah.
Right? Especially with anything smaller than a 3/3. Like if it's a bunch of tokens, and because you're happy to just trade all those for the tokens, even if the tokens do get, buffed somehow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's probably just going to divert attacks more than anything else, but there is the possibility that you still get 3/3s out of the equation, right?
It's sort of red propaganda.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Right? I mean, they can attack and they can never, you can't remove attackers the way propaganda does. Like, propaganda straight up prevents it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're attacking with ground creatures and they don't want to pay the 3, you're just going to chump with whatever ogre that creature triggered.
Yeah.
So they can't get through on the ground without paying 3.
Also, don't forget that you don't need to block with the red ogre that you
That's
make.
true.
If someone's attacking you with a 5/5 and they go, okay, I'm not paying for it, and you go, all right, I'll take 5, and now I get a 3/3.
Yeah, why not?
And then, next turn I'll have 2 3/3s, so now you really can't attack me. Right?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind also.
Good dude.
Kazul.
And if that wasn't enough, we're running Xperia Supreme Judge. 2 white, blue for a legendary creature Sphinx. It's a flying, it's a 6/4, and whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker you control, you may draw a card. So it's a little bit pillow forty in the sense that people probably don't want to attack you with this. Mm-hmm. These are less so on the whatever any opponent does, because they have to be targeting you. I just question. I would be curious to see how this deck runs and see like when you have multiple creatures growing whenever people cast things. I'm sure that will draw attention. People will be like, "Man, every time I cast a spell, your board gets 3 extra counters on it. This is ridiculous.
You get to draw a card, and your guy gets big, and I can't attack you ever."
You're probably gonna get threatened eventually, so that's why Xperia and Kazul are especially good.
Yeah, and it's something. It seems like so if you do have like a built up board, even just a little bit, you have a couple of these creatures we've even just mentioned off the top here, and it starts to like hold people back, so they're not attacking. That does just give you more time to like find bigger threats and then really lock them down, right?
Yeah.
So like it's almost like they're better off to just go after you, but then they're just helping you too, right?
Yeah,
like
right?
it really puts your opponents in quite the conundrum.
I like the idea of built up battlefield.
Yeah.
I will be referring to my board as a bub from now on.
B-U-B.
Yeah. Are you coming at my bub?
Are you coming at my bub?
I got quite a bub. I don't know if you want to attack.
Bombs under Baghdad.
Bombs under?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
What other fun stuff are we doing?
Okay, other fun stuff we're doing. You want to take this one? I think it's your turn.
Okay, sure.
This is fun.
This is one of the most fun things to do in Commander.
You are currently this card's champion right now. You're king of the hill for this card.
I'm king of the hill for this one. I managed to get one off of another one the other day when we were playing, although I did lose that game. Mind's Dilation, 5 blue. You guys know this one. It's a mythic enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost.
Did the table go nuts when you flipped another Mind's Dilation?
Yes, they did. We all went nuts. I took a picture of it. I posted it on our Twitter. I played Mind's Dilation. Butler then cast a spell, and I flipped his Mind's Dilation, and I had to... Did I even get to do something with 2? No, because I think he immediately, he did something right after where he stole it or something like that. Oh, man,
because it works, right? Because you exile the card.
Yeah.
So even if you don't cast it or you're not able to cast it...
It's 2 separate triggers, right? So you flip, if they cast a spell, one Mind's Dilation flips the top one, then the next one flips the next one down.
Yeah, for a second I couldn't remember, if you didn't cast the first one, if it went back on top of the library.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but no way, man. Double dip.
So
yeah. Mind's Dilation sometimes whiffs. 2 Mind's Dilations never whiffs.
Mind's Dilation is so great because it's very the speed of the table, man.
Yep.
It's gonna get things that to match the skill level of the players that are playing, or rather the what am I trying to say here? Not skill level, but
deck
the deck level. Exactly. There you go. It'll match that intensity. And sometimes it will whiff. So it's not like this thing where you just play this and win the game by far. But it can win you games. It can give you so much extra value that it's just hard for people to come back from. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite cards ever.
Yeah, it does have that psychological effect where if you have an opponent's thing, they get very mad at you.
Yeah.
So even if it's just your 3/3 utility creature, that really doesn't help me much. But it's just yeah, but that was mine and you took it from me, so now I gotta get it back.
I will say this though, people really hate it when you steal stuff that they've cast, that they've put the work in to cast, and they have on their battlefield. But it is very different when you just flip the top card of their library and you just get it. People don't feel the same attachment. I would wager that just going with simple creatures for an example, that if they had a 3/3 on the battlefield and you stole it with a mind control or something, they would be more upset about that than if you flipped a 6/6 and got that.
Huh.
I suspect that the emotional attachment to something, you're well, I had to pay the mana for that. That's mine.
I worked hard for this gray ogre.
Exactly. So anyways, Mind's Dilation it draws a lot of hate because it's a very powerful card, but it is kind of balanced. It is it's fine. People can come back from it. It's not a crippling card.
All right. Next up, Lurking Predators. 4 green. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put it on the bottom of your library. So, at the very least, it says... Well, it's not quite. It's sort of like Scry 1. When your opponent casts a spell, Scry 1, because you do have the option of putting the card on the bottom of your library.
Right.
If it is a creature, you get the extra bonus of just straight up putting it into play. A lot of our deck is creatures. This is a creature-heavy deck in general, so Lurking Predators will hit a lot, but even if it's not hitting a bunch, that scrying is very useful.
Yeah, this is a great one. Creature-heavy decks love this card.
Yeah.
Next one is Hermit of the Natternolls. 2 and a green for a creature, a human werewolf. It's a 2/3 and says whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw a card. And at the beginning of each upkeep, okay, that's just the werewolf text. Sorry, I always get into that. So obviously, on the upkeep, if no spells are cast, you transform it into Lone Wolf of the Natternolls. And then this guy just says whenever an opponent casts a spell during your turn, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
And it's a 3/5.
Just in there as a, like, I mean, there's another more famous card that does this ability, but I believe it's a dragon. It's very expensive. It's out of our budget.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking Dromoka just means that you can't cast spells.
No, yeah, Dromoka just says you can't. And I don't think Dromoka's out of our budget either.
I think that one is.
Dromoka?
There's
really?
2 Dromokas. One of them is cheap, one of them not so cheap.
There's the white card that does that. The, I don't know. It's like Commander of the somethings. And it just has the Dromoka text.
Dromoka.
Dromoka. That's me trying to type in Dromoka.
With caps lock on.
Yeah. Just seems extra stupid. Dragon Lord Dromoka? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's not what
you're right. It is expensive. Wow.
What's
I
it
did
up
not
to?
know that. It's up to like 13.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
really did not expect that. That's interesting. Anyways, that's prevention though. That's not exactly what this deck is going for, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, so like, Hermit of the Natternolls and or Lone Wolf, I don't expect it to transform very often. But if you got the Hermit out, it doesn't do a lot. But if your opponents decide to do something on your end step, then you start to get that stuff. So it's another. It puts certain players in that position. Decks that want to counter your spells a lot have to consider that's like, well, that's gonna cost. They're gonna get to draw a card because of it. Yeah, an interesting effect. I just wanted in there.
Yeah, definitely.
If there was more ways when that could do, I would put that in too.
All right.
So now a lot of this depends on our opponents doing things.
Right.
So we want to make our opponents do more things.
Right, because one possible way to like stop this from doing is to get for your one opponent to like have a good board, be able to like affect you, and then just stop doing things.
And stop doing things. We do not want that.
Right.
I mean, so let's throw in something like River's Rebuke. Exelon for blue for a sorcery. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. Would I rather run a Cyclonic Rift? Sure. Is Cyclonic Rift a little bit expensive right now? Depends on how your budget is, but for our purposes, yes.
Okay.
But River's Rebuke is a fine substitute if you're on a budget.
It only hits one player.
It only hits one player, but it puts their whole board back into their hand. You could make a sliver case argument that it is better in the event that the table has agreed on one enemy, that you can target that enemy and we can all gang up on and kill them at once.
Yeah.
As opposed to taking everyone else's power away as well. But nonetheless, you throw all their permanents back to the hand. Maybe they got a token thing going on, so those tokens are gone. They're going to have to recast their stuff, and you're going to have to get a lot more things because of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, make them cast it back out again if they
Yep.
want to get back in this game. Also, we've got Crush of Tentacles. 4 blue sorcery with Surge for 3 and blue, which and Surge is if you've cast something already, it costs a bit less, right? You can cast it for its Surge cost. Crush of Tentacles says return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands. If Crush of Tentacles Surge cost was paid, put an 8/8 blue octopus creature token onto the battlefield. Now, which one do you like better? Because obviously, Crush here has the Surge cost, which is something, but let's say we're just casting this for its normal cost, and we're bouncing everything.
Yeah, huge drawback, obviously, to put your own stuff back in your hand, because then you don't have all those creatures to react to it. This is not an ideal one. This is more of a late game card. If you've got a bunch of mana, you can Surge, and then if you can throw down an Ishai or something else like that. Yeah, that's that. Like, ideally, combine these, make a Cyclonic Rift, go to bed.
Go to bed. Then you just go straight to bed.
Go straight to bed.
Set your alarm for the morning.
Yeah, brush your teeth.
And we'll see you the next day.
Yeah, take any like medicines you're supposed to take before bed.
If you got some pills.
Yeah. You go to your end step of the day.
End step of the day. That is end step.
The cleanup phase. The cleanup phase. Wash your face.
Wash your face. Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Change your socks.
Change your socks.
Yeah.
Take off them socks. You go to bed with socks on?
If it's cold out.
No way.
Never if it's cold.
Never.
If it's cold.
No. Well, you know what? I don't get cold in bed very often. I'm a bit of a heater,
You're a furnace?
As my wife refers to me.
Well, I think I'm mostly a heater. Maybe I have bad circulation because my feet, sometimes in bed, my feet are cold and it feels like they will never warm up. So I gotta put socks on, and then I'm like, I'm fine.
Oh man, I can't sleep with socks. I find it too constricting. I find it too having the cloth cling to my feet while I'm sleeping. I don't like that at all.
I don't notice after a couple of minutes.
Don't like it. I don't even like some people wear pajama like bottoms, like pants. I can't really do that either. I don't like pants. All right. That's about me. I don't like pants. What's next here? Yeah, we got another one of these.
Oh, here's another way to make people recast things. Destroy them. Just route. You can cast route so it's 3 white to destroy all creatures, or you can pay 2 extra and cast it as an instant if you want. Again, these are not ideal because they also take away your things as well. But this is more of a case if you have like enchantment based stuff like Mind's Dilation, Lurking Predators, those types of things, enchantment based gimme things, or artifacts. They work very well when you just route the creatures.
Now, if we had let's say we had that stuff, is it better to route as a sorcery or to pay the 2 extra and do it as an instant? I'd say if you had all creatures out, you route as an instant just to get them to cast more things. But if you had something like Mind's Dilation and Lurking Predators, like wouldn't you'd probably want to do it on your turn, so that way when they recast stuff, you get that stuff. You're not destroying that stuff also. Is that or is it just or is it all kind of the same? Is it all go out in the wash kind of thing?
I feel it's all kind of the same. Typically, if I know I'm going to cast a raft spell, I'm gonna I think the only reason I use instant speed is if everyone comes at me with a big attack, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna route here so I don't have to face this.
Right.
But if I would like to cast it as a sorcery on my turn after I've attacked with all my creatures who are about to die.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And I guess you'll reap benefits either way that way. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go into them, but I have ways to protect our own creatures from stuff like this. So hopefully we can, giving them all indestructible and such, that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's the general idea, right?
That's the gist. I probably should have featured Washout.
Oh, you want to just quickly do that one?
I realize this is a better feature than Crush of Tentacles. It's 3 and a blue, return all permanents of the color of your choice to their owner's hand. Mm-hmm. It's, it doesn't hit a whole board, but you can probably engineer a situation where it hurts your opponents way more than you, and one where they have to recast a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think this is a quite a good commander card, to be honest with you, because it's I think this one is the closest in value to Cyclonic Rift if you're specifically looking to not bounce your own stuff, right? So like if you don't care about bouncing your own stuff, obviously something like Crush of Tentacles and all those other things are probably better, but because they just get everything. Whereas Washout, you can target people, you can target players, obviously by picking a color, and you can avoid bouncing your own stuff, and it's only 4 mana.
Yeah,
that's where you get a lot of value there too, because you can even wash out 1 or 2 of your own things. Let's say you said blue and you have 1 or 2 blue permanents, you might be able to just play another one after that and then get back ahead, right? So yeah. I actually really like Washout, and it just completely crushes token decks. Like you just say white or green or whatever, and then peace, tokens. You're done, right? It doesn't, however, it doesn't get those Thopter tokens.
No, it does not. Or those mirror.
It doesn't get those mirror tokens. So. Those
indestructible 5/5 mirror.
Yeah. So, but I really do like Washout, and I think it's a little bit underrated. I don't see it played all that often.
Can I ask you an opinion question?
Sure.
So, Cyclonic Rift is obviously an eternal commander staple because of what it is. Mm-hmm. It's also flexible because you can cast it for 2. Mm-hmm. Do you think it would be a reasonable card if they just printed the hard version of it. 8 instant, return all permanents you don't own to their owners, you don't control to their owner's hand. And I guess my next question is, why haven't they?
Yeah, that's maybe because they don't want 2 cyclonic rifts.
But they don't think about
in Commander.
I don't think that's how they design, though. I don't think they say well, we don't want Commander to have 2 of these. That's even 7. I'm sorry, I thought 8.
I was gonna say, yeah, 7. It's not 8. I think it is 7.
And what if it was sorcery? Like, what if they did a sorcery, return all non-land permanents you don't control the owner's hand, add a sorcery? What do you think was the fair price for that?
I mean, that is one-sided board wipes that are destroy creatures usually cost around like 8.
Between 4 and 5.
Oh, sorry,
one-sided.
So they're usually like 8 or 9.
Yeah,
they're a lot.
this doesn't destroy.
This doesn't destroy. They get to recast, but the fact that it's one-sided is really crazy. This one's 7, and it's like, this is a very powerful card in our format.
I feel now that I've been thinking about it, I think the reason this is so good is I think that is extremely undercosted for what you're getting. 7 mana for an instant, everything that's not yours. I mean,
you reset everyone's board completely.
Like the one from Exelon is a sorcery and it's 6. And it
hits
one person.
Yeah.
So they're already on the toga. They're already on the like. Cyclonic Rift was too much. This is what's fair nowadays.
Yeah. I think you could print a 7 mana sorcery version of this, and it would still be pretty good. I think.
I'd run it.
I'd run it, of course.
I'd run it.
Yeah. What would it take for you to not run it? To be like, that's too much. Like 8, 9? No, I don't see a lot of those one-sided black board wipes.
I don't see a lot either. The one I see the most isn't even a board wipe. It's the one where it's just like put all the graveyards onto your side.
Oh, that's not a board. That's the opposite.
That's opposite of a board wipe. But like that's in my mind, it occupies the same mental space.
But like in Garrix Wake, right?
Yeah.
That's the one I always think of. In Garrix Wake is 9 mana, destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers. That's something else.
I always forget that.
Me too. Because there is a 9 mana version of this where it is just creatures.
Yeah.
It's an older card.
This is strictly better.
Yeah, strictly better. I never see anyone run this. I've run it in mono black decks before that can ramp a lot, but this isn't just a thing I throw in black decks for sure. You'd rather just run the 6 mana version that destroys your stuff too, because who cares?
Yeah.
Because it's mostly when you're behind anyways. It's not like this is a way you're going to win the game. You could. Yeah. That could be what this use is for a card like this, but...
So what if this
Cyclonic Rift is also the same thing. It's usually like saving you. It's usually setting everyone back so that you don't die or so that you don't get too far behind.
Well, what if this was the Cyclonic Rift? What if it was 7 blue Cyclonic Rift sorcery?
7 blue, right? So 9.
Do the thing Cyclonic Rift does.
See, that's also permanent, so I still think it's better.
Okay.
I still think it's better and like probably worth it.
Yeah. Just a little thought experiment there.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's sort of the gist of it, of what we're doing here. I haven't had a chance to play this yet. I didn't do as much testing as normally I would do.
Okay.
But I feel like if I were to take another pass at this, I would want to add some other win condition. Because I think right now we're depending on gigantic creatures, which isn't always reliable.
Right.
Because we're not all in on that. So I wonder if there isn't just something else we could do with this. Like that last finishing touch.
This is definitely the realm of the player who loves to just see things happen.
Yep.
Dirtle and watch you get bonuses when people play stuff. I think the idea is just to outvalue everyone because a thing you play on your turn is going to pay you back at least 2 or 3 times before someone can maybe get rid of it.
Hopefully.
And hopefully you can just grind out enough value that way. It's harder to do that in Commander because, 1v1 games, it is strictly 1v1. You're only having to compete with one person's cards and outvaluing those. Of course, in our format, you're trying to outvalue 4 other people or 3 other people, and that's tough.
I bet you one thing that this deck could benefit from is something like a Loxodon and Warhammer, a way to give... Because we're mostly going to be gigantic creatures. Mm-hmm. That's mostly what this deck is. So to have a way to give them a little bit of a trample, that would be great.
Right.
Give your team trample is something this deck wants.
but an archetype of imagination where it just takes away flying from everyone,
Sure,
and you get all flying.
Yeah, right. Like that should be in here. Archetype of Imag.
That's a card that we were very high on a while ago, and we haven't mentioned it in a while. But like, don't count that card out. It's still quite good, I think.
Yeah, right. The only card in this deck that could block against an opponent that is the Spider with Reach.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's, probably chumping at that point. If your whole team has flying and no one else on the board has flying, I'm sure you have gigantic.
Yeah. It'd be fun to build you wouldn't need to do that, but like to build the all Reach deck. It's like, what would that like? So no flyers ever get past you. Like your ground's good. Like you're blocked up. Like you get a lot of reaches.
I would also want cards that give you like you do damage based on your toughness too.
Yeah, maybe it's like a wall reach.
A butt wall.
A butt wall.
Butt wall.
A butt wall reach. We're getting into dangerous territory here with this. Let's take a look at the old 3 stars of the deck here. One of the most effective and best cards inside of the little help from our friends deck.
Oh, listen, couldn't leave this one out. This was a suggestion from our patron, Mr. Hofer. This is Hive Mind. 5 and a blue. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, each other player copies that spell. Each of those players may choose new targets for his or her copy. This helps everybody equally.
Yeah.
We don't have a ton of spells that are like targeted. Like route doesn't. Copy route? I don't care.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
But like a lot of these are like, and then so like that player who wants to play a lot of green ramp spells is just like, thanks everybody. This really does embody the spirit of helping your friends. I was being more selfish about it, but this is truly friends helping friends.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, this is. I'm always so afraid of cards like this because I'm afraid that like unless I really build around it, I feel like I might not get enough value out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in this deck, it's just like it's just out there.
But you're
to
just
share.
getting. Yeah, you're just like if you're playing creatures mostly, like you're not sharing your own stuff, but you're just getting other people's stuff.
And again, it's the motto: if it makes our opponents not play their ramp cards because they don't want everyone to ramp, that's fine. That's fine.
We'll just play ours. Next, number 2 star of the deck is Burgeoning. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I don't know how much is this card. It's not too bad. Burgeoning is 1 green for an enchantment. This is whenever an opponent plays a land, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield.
This is partly. It is in there literally because when opponents do stuff, right?
Right.
It's one of the few cases that does anything when our opponents play a land.
Mm-hmm.
And it is especially useful because we're now Kineos and Tiro. Because Kineos and Tiro are drawing us extra cards on end steps and playing extra lands.
And they're letting other people play lands.
Yeah, so we have more opportunities to play more lands. So we're going to take extra advantage of draw cards and things like that. We're going to be able to dump our hand and ramp pretty quickly. Which, in the long run, makes things like Crush of Tentacles a bit better. Because we will be able to replay a lot more of our board.
Right. Yeah, Burgeoning, I mean, basically what you just said there. Burgeoning is at its finest when you have a lot of card draw.
Yeah.
So just make sure whenever you play this card you do have that. But in this deck, that's what we got going on.
Number 1 star is the card that inspired all of us, I think. Sunscorched Reagent. 3 white, flying 4/3. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 counter on it, and you gain 1 life. This is just the exact embodiment of everything this deck is. It's got evasion, and it gets ginormous.
It gets huge. And this is one unlike the base version of it, unlike Torian Mauler, which doesn't tend to draw a lot of hate. Sunscorched Reagent makes people just oh man, I gotta kill that. I gotta kill that thing. But they still keep playing spells all the time. It's perfect because it doesn't stop them from doing things because it's a counter. What's 1 counter? What's 1 life? It's not that bad. I'm gonna play my big blocker or something, right? And then, then I feel a bit safer. But then your opponent plays 2 or 3 more spells, and now all of a sudden the blocker is too small.
Yeah. And so now that to hear you put it that way, I feel like it's very possible once you have a few of these things on your board, your opponents might just stop playing spells and waiting for a wrath. Because they can't afford to keep doing it otherwise.
Right.
So in that case, maybe I should lean even harder. I do have a few spells that give your whole team indestructible. Maybe I should lean harder in that way. Just be okay, here we are. A couple counter spells, a couple of those, and just be well, look at this. I got my board huge. If you keep playing things, I will keep outclassing you. If you don't play things, I'm just gonna. You got nothing.
Then you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. Yeah, Sunscorched Reagent is a big, fun, and scary card. I mean, put this in your Karlov decks, obviously.
Yeah.
It just goes wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sunscorched Reagent is a great card. Number 1 star. Any surprises or discoveries with this little deck here?
Yes, a couple of wonderful discoveries and or surprises submitted by Patreon. Discord. Join Patreon and join that Discord. A lot of great chats going on. Hunting Grounds. Andy?
Yeah.
What is this? This is the best.
This is a really neat card. I was just looking at these before we started, and I was like, I've never seen this card
I've never
before.
seen this. This is by Lloyd R. Man, thank you for this.
Lloyd, thank you very much. This is a crazy card. Hunting Grounds is a green and a white for an enchantment, and it has Threshold, which is you need to have 7 cards in your graveyard,
Yeah,
right?
as long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, no problem.
Right, so Threshold, whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may put a creature card from your hand into play.
What?
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 So again, one of these things where you need a lot of card draw to help fuel it, but you know, they play a spell and you just get to drop some massive beater. Like you get to drop a Sunscorched Reagent. Like that's insane.
That's insane.
So Hunting Grounds can just build you out your board. So like and like the one thing about it, like so quickly it can do it, but like it can't start you off doing it. That's one thing that it will struggle with because of Threshold, right? It's not like you can play this on turn 2 and expect to just now all of a sudden dump your hand.
That's true.
You're going to need to have that graveyard filled. And in these colors, you know, there are some decks that this could really, you know, excel in, like Carador or something, right?
Oh.
Where you do have a big full graveyard for most of the game. But yeah, I'd pair this with black.
Wait a second.
To really go nuts. But you can also pair it with blue. Blue does a lot of that too, right?
Can we look up what's that alternate commander land, command beacon? Can you look at how to
alternate commander land?
Well, it's not command tower. It's like the cousin of command.
Oh, I thought you meant like Commander Land. Come enjoy Commander Land,
yeah.
like a theme park. Command beacon.
Sacrifice it. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. So that's like, I'm just thinking, someone casts a spell, and you've got your Hunting Grounds out. You're like, okay, before. Oh, but the trigger's on this. Yeah, the trigger's on the stack. You hit Command Beacon to put your commander into your hand, and then you put your commander into the battlefield.
Then you recur Command Beacon somehow.
Ooh, with Remnant Excavator, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and then you do it again.
Yes.
So, yeah. Very neat card. Hunting Grounds. I'm sure there's a lot of decks that would benefit from a Hunting Grounds in them, and there you go. If you don't know, now you know.
Wow. Super cheap, too. Thank you, Lloyd R. One more surprising discovery. This is more of a decision because we're running Kineos and Tiro. This was from Melamobarp. Melamobarp?
Melamobarp?
I don't know
how
to pronounce it, but that's how it looks. Maluku the Clouded Mirror. 4 and a blue. Legendary Moonfolk Wizard. Flying 2/4. 1. No taps. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Put a 1/1 blue illusion creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So with Kineos and Tiro, you're able to put extra lands out. You've got Burgeoning, you're able to put extra lands out. If either of those are going, Maluku goes up big time. Because you can just keep rebuying those lands and replaying them for those 1/1 blue illusion creature tokens.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
Maluku is just a great. I mean, if you've ever, I've played with Maluku in Cube, and she's just a great like control finisher card.
Yeah.
In those things.
Once you have enough land, it doesn't even matter if you can't play more than one.
No, it doesn't. Like sometimes you can just go bam, 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 bounce all your lands and just attack with like, 7, 8, 9, 1/1 blue illusions or whatever.
That's right. You can put your whole thing back and like. See, what's happening in my brain now, so it's like, well, we got Burgeoning and Kineos and Tiro, so let's put in Maluku. It's like, yeah, cool. Now we got Maluku, let's put in some land destruction. It's like, return your lands to your hand. And
now we're talking about a whole other...
Every card leads to another card.
That's the danger. Yeah. That is the danger of Magic the Gathering.
Can we have an alternate commander format where we're allowed 200 card decks?
Then we can finally play, Battle of Wits or whatever that card's called?
Yes! Although...
Then everyone just has that card?
But your library will never be 200.
Unless you shuffle it back in and...
Your hand and your graveyard.
Your graveyard.
And your commander.
somehow, yeah, and your commander, and somehow you're like it's the last card you play puts itself back and shovels it back in.
But wait, it has to be on the board to see a 200 card library.
Impossible.
It's impossible.
Impossible.
We
can't
still
do
do not have a Battle of Wits.
Even if you double it, you can't do it.
One day.
Burn.
Such a burn.
Burn on us, I guess. Yep, Maluku's really neat. Cool.
Well, that's the surprise discoveries. Before we do the budget report, let's spend a moment to talk about the Wizard's Tower. wizardtower.com. So we got a rotating coupon code now. So for the month of November, you're going to type in Brewvember to get that 5% extra, in addition to free shipping for singles 15 or more to Canada or the US, in addition to 3% kickback from your next order. Ooh, Iconic Masters is up.
Yeah, Iconic Masters is up. You can order stuff from Iconic Masters. There's also events going on at the physical store if you're in the Ottawa area. Check it out.
Physical store.
I've already used Brewvember.
Ooh, I'm behind. I've been very busy. Ooh, Merfolk versus Goblins.
Dual decks coming out. So yeah, go to wizardtower.com. Also check out mtgcanada.com for the articles that Sean and myself write for that website.
You'll notice one.
Yeah, which one's yours? This one?
This one there.
Ooh, 10 decoy artifacts and enchantments.
The premise of the article is artifacts and enchantments that are meant to draw out removal spells that will not be crucial to your strategy, but pretty cool anyway. Because the issue I find sometimes is I play decks with one sick enchantment, and it always gets removed. Because people have removal, and they have no other targets for it. So of course it gets removed. Gotta have those decoys.
I think one of the very first articles I wrote for MTG Canada was about lightning rod creatures, lightning rod things. And it was like, yeah, these are the things that will attract removal. And here's where you play them. And like, then, your other things of the same type or whatever will be a bit safer.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that just demand removal in Commander. And I remember saying like aura shards is like, whoa, brother.
Yeah.
That's gonna get removed.
Yeah, that's like our lightning rod, but I'm talking like this is sort of like less.
Yeah, you're saying that to protect those.
Yes.
To protect the lightning rod ones, you play these ones before.
Yes. Because if you need your aura shards, you can't run out aura shards.
Exactly.
Until you've run out a couple of these decoys and sucked out some removal.
Good call, yeah. Cool, so good. Get over there, check that one out, mtgcanada.com. Okay, I believe it's time for the budget report.
Okay, here's where we take all the cards and we give them to our friends. And whichever ones come back to us, we were meant to have all along.
Oh, yeah. If you let it go, it'll come back to you, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the old saying, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
They say, I guess, at the end.
I guess?
I guess.
No, don't judge a man until you've walked a mile in his shoes, I guess.
I guess. So what did we come up to this one? What's the budget on this guy?
$49.31.
Ooh,
just barely. Most
tight.
Expensive card is Burgeoning.
Mm-hmm.
It is, it dropped since it was reprinted in the latest Commander set, but it is still pushing. It's about $4 right now.
Right, it's getting up there. Next we have lurking predators, $2.75. I remember when this card was a little bit more expensive, and then I think like because it is just a Commander card, it got reprinted, and then so now it's well under $5. But like, I do seem to remember this card. Oh, it was Magic 2010. It was like a core set. So
yeah,
those are not always drafted as much as the other ones. Maybe that was why.
And also, like that was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. It's true.
7 years ago.
Yep, good call.
Yeah.
Cool card though. Very cool card.
Yeah.
$2.75. I think this is probably worth keeping in, especially in a creature heavy deck. Right?
I think so.
And then third.
Oh, Hive Mind. Yeah. So it's just again, this is also M10. Interesting. What a great set for crazy.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. So this one's about $2 plus a gumball. I don't know if this is like if you wanted to make a little bit of a cut, you could cut this to save a couple bucks if you didn't want to spend the extra $2 on there. If you don't want to break another bill on it, but I think it's fun. I listen, man. I've never resolved a Hive Mind. I've never played with Hive Mind.
Never played it.
It's about time. I bet you it's really fun.
Yeah. Okay. We'll look forward to that in our.
Because I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like rafts are the same. Yeah. Right. Ramp spells it ramps everybody. That's just good for the game. Right. Mm-hmm. Everybody plays more.
Yeah.
Targeted removal is just like, well, I mean, either everyone gangs up on one person or everyone gets it spread around. That seems fair.
Or people play pointed removal spells and wipe your whole board.
Or they all team up on you. Yeah, that's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah, I guess most likely it's just enchantment removal, destroy Hive Mind, and a few other things.
Could be that too, yeah. Well, who knows? If you've played with Hive Mind, let us know. What do you think of it?
Yeah.
And what type of decks love it the most?
Yeah.
Obviously, I think a chaosy type deck loves it.
Yeah, but I don't think I have it in me to run a full chaos deck.
No, me neither. Because what's the
much.
point? It's just it is just chaos.
But I think Hive Mind has a place. I think that Hive Mind isn't crazy enough that it's not worth it.
Everyone gets a spell. It's not crazy enough.
Well, but at least the game goes as predicted.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
You're still
Fair
playing
enough.
the game.
Sure.
It's just more of it.
Yes, that's true. Out of budget cards that would work here. Not just Commander staples per se. But some stuff that would specifically benefit this deck. One we have here is Heartwood Storyteller. 1 green for a 2/3 tree folk that says whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. This card is around just under $5.
Yeah, I could have squished it in if I really worked on it, but I feel it wasn't necessarily right on theme of our friends helping us. That's sort of like everyone helping everybody.
Yeah, this is a group huggy card as opposed to the group hugging you.
Well, I mean, but I'm glad we're talking about it because if you are mostly creatures, you're not going to play a lot of non-creature spells. So it is quite possible that other players will be giving you and other opponents way more cards than you'll be giving them.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And what's the other one here?
I mean, this is just Consecrated Sphinx. 4 blue flying. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. It's a classic. It's very expensive. It's a staple. But it is literally on point for the theme of this deck.
Yeah, this is exactly what this deck would want.
So, if you have one, it goes in any blue deck. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting reprinted in Iconic Masters. So
yes.
We're seeing a little bit of a price drop. Looks like the Iconic Masters version is selling for about $12.
I mean,
which is
good.
which is like half of what it was before,
Yeah.
If not even more than half.
Did it get new art?
I don't believe so. No. I know, and I kind of wanted to too because I don't like this art.
Yeah, is it a bug? It's like a skinny, featherless
weird,
bat.
It's a sphinx.
I mean, I guess it's technically a sphinx. All the other sphinxes look regal and majestic. This one looks emaciated.
Because this one is Phyrexian.
Oh yeah, okay.
Blessed by the hands of Jin Gataxius.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a blessing.
Yeah, no, it's not. It sucks to be blessed by the hands of Jin Gataxius.
Yeah, man.
Turns you into a weird skeleton bug thing.
You're a weird skinny bird.
Oh, man, I don't want to be a skinny bird. Leave me alone, Jin.
You're
named after the piniest liquor around.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Ooh, a little help from our friends.
Thanks, friends.
Yeah, so... Yeah, get on that. Yeah, so we're going to put the next week's deck up shortly on the Discord for our patrons to discuss it. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see what that turns into.
It's always very, helpful and fun, and I love it.
Yeah, you get the ideas, and the one idea leads to another idea. It really does, I feel it's upped my deck building.
Sometimes the deck thread will turn into a whole other deck.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's really neat, and you can get ideas for all kinds of other stuff. So
yeah,
if you want to join in on that kind of fun, yeah, just hop on Patreon, patreon.com/commandersbrew. Also, I mean, while we're here talking about it, you also get if you sign up for a Patreon, there's obviously different levels like everyone's Patreon, but the base level for us, you get access to the Discord, you get a fun card sent in the mail to you.
A thank you.
You get access to deck renos when we start those up again because we're kind of retooling the idea of deck renos right now. What was the other thing? Oh, there's one more little thing. Oh, you get the Lifelinker app. The code for our logo in Josh and Jimmy's Lifelinker app. So if you play with that one and you want to see a little Nicol Bolas wearing shades and a construction hat designed by Matt Strott, hit us up.
Yeah.
Patreon.com. All right, cool. This was a fun one.
Yeah.
Let us know if you want to put this deck together. Let us know how it plays. Also, reach out to us. Other than that, we'll see you guys later. But stick around for Brew's news right after this.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brew's News. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean. And now it's time for our advice column, Dear Rakdos. And now, some Dear Rakdos letters. This one is from Green Geek. Dear Rakdos, my girlfriend is always trying to drag me to see the Sex and the City movies. What should I do? Well, Great Geek, I know that when one wants one to do something, we're talking about dragging someone to see it. Well, perhaps you could tie yourself up in spiky chains first, right? Maybe remove a few layers of your own epidermis so that the dragging to the movies is much more painful. Perhaps you could install some hooks, big metal hooks under your collarbones to facilitate said dragging. It's important to be a good partner and support your partner in their wants and desires. Thank you. Dear Rakdos, my brother is deeply involved with the Orzhov Guild. And he's in debt and is trying to get me to help him. What should I do? That's from Paradox NG. Well, Paradox, the Orzhov are not a group to be messed with. When they have a debt, they go for the debt. But if you want to help your brother get out of the debt, here's what I recommend. Firebomb everything related to the Orzhov. Burn it down to a ground. If that doesn't take care of the debt certificates, I don't know what would. If you're still concerned, maybe just burn down everything else around it. Simic, Is It, all of those places, just in case. You know what I mean? You can't burn down Rakdos. We're already basically on fire, so it's no big deal. Thanks for your question. This next question comes from Dante Informal. Dear Rakdos, where should my wife and I go on our honeymoon? Vegas isn't right because we don't gamble. Paris is cliche, and we don't have enough money to go backpacking through Europe. Help, please. Great question, Dante Informal. A honeymoon is about the love you share, so I think the best thing to do is to seal yourself into a space with nothing but a drain and the tiled floors and a few spiky chains. And then don't wear clothes either, because at this point you should have be comfortable around each other without clothes. But also, just do whatever feels right, you know? Who cares about the mess? Just that's what the Rakdos is all about. Maybe order in some hot pizza oil, and just spread that around everywhere. Sounds like a great honeymoon if you ask me. There's no Mrs. Rakdos in my life, but if there was, that's what I'd consider. Thank you. Dear Rakdos, I'm trying to switch to a vegan diet, but it's so hard to find a replacement for eggs. Any advice? Thank you, Boaz. Eggs are a great source of protein, we all know this, but if you're vegan, you can't have any animal products. But I believe you could still have human products, so substitute human flesh, thank you. Dear Rakdos, I love living in New England, Earthplane, thank you. But I love its strong communities, but it gets so cold in the winter seasons. How do I stay warm? From Uber Hasu. Well, Uber Hasu, I don't understand what it's like to be cold. I live in pure fire all the time. I'm the Lord of Riots. And I think good physical activity, get the blood pumping. So try picking up heavy things and hurling them through windows. Pick up a sledgehammer and just start smashing everything you can see. That's a great way to build up the blood flow and get the internal temperatures going. You know what I'm talking about? Like, just take things and flip them over. If it can be flipped, flip it. If it can be stabbed, stab it. If it can be pushed over a thing, push it over a thing. Oh, yes, great question. Thank you.
Well, I certainly hope those people find that Rakdos was able to help them with his suggestions.
Should we say to just not try his suggestions at home? Should we say that? Do we need to say that for legal?
Some might work. I mean, maybe don't burn as many things as he said to.
Yeah. Take care of your stuff, everybody, and the people you love.
Don't visit the Gore House.
If you want to contact us, I'm at Sean Tabaris.
And I'm at Andy Holbone.
Send us an email at commandersbrew@gmail.com.
You can find out when we go live on Twitch if you follow us at twitch.tv.
And if you care to support us on Patreon, check us out at patreon.com.
And you can find our deck list on tappedout.net.
And if we forgot anything, commandersbrew.com.